Yella Beezy appeared in court today facing serious allegations in the murder-for-hire plot of rapper Mo 3. Prosecutors allege that Beezy didn't personally carry out the act, but paid someone to execute the crime. During the hearing, Beezy requested a bond reduction, but prosecutors presented evidence that they would be using at trial. This evidence was previously presented to a grand jury, which led to Beezy's indictment on the murder-for-hire charge. If convicted, Beezy faces severe legal consequences, including the possibility of life without parole. The prosecution's confidence in their evidence suggests that they might have a strong case moving forward. The biggest takeaway from court today is how much they're relying on witness testimonies. The prosecutors will reveal that they don't have witnesses, they have one witness. And that witness is their star witness. And they're pretty much hedging their entire case on the back of this one guy. If you ask me, Yella Beezy's situation is looking 50-50 right now. If is the shooter, the one allegedly committed the murder, then Beezy's in serious trouble. The witness would have the most to lose and plenty of evidence and communication to use against him. But if the witness is anybody else, Beezy's chances improve significantly. In that case, Beezy's defense would just have to undermine the credibility of the witness and shift the odds in his favor. A strong defense could dismantle a single witness's testimony, making it easier to create reasonable doubt. Here's where it gets interesting. Even if the witness is the shooter, prosecutors are still relying on one witness with a lot to lose. Of course they're going to mention Beezy to protect themselves. Either way, Beezy's situation has more potential for a positive outcome than the blogs and the streets initially gave him credit for.
Marquise Conway, the defendant, being present and involved in this conversation. The state's witness will testify to the amount of money that was to be paid for the murder. A state's witness will testify to the individuals responsible for the payment. That state's witness will also testify that Marquise Conway was one of the individuals responsible for a portion of that payment. A state's witness will also testify to the individual who would receive this payment. The state's witness will testify that Keywan White was, in fact, the individual to receive this payment, who was originally indicted in State's Exhibit Number 1.
New developments just dropped. It turns out the state's witness was recording conversations with Yella Beezy just days after Mo 3's murder. Now that only means one of two things. Either this person was incredibly reckless, or he had plans of cooperating from the jump in case things went left. But here's the takeaway. This same witness is set to testify against Keywan, aka Banzo Bling, aka the shooter. And if that's the case, Banzo Bling is not the witness. That means the state's key witness is someone with direct access to the conversations, and they're ready to put everything on record. Bottom line, this witness isn't just talking, they've been building a case. And with recordings in hand, their testimony could be the nail in the coffin for Yella Beezy if his defense doesn't poke enough holes in the story. Alright, let's break it down. Devin Maurice Brown on the left and Keywan White on the right were the first two people scooped up for Mo 3's murder before Yella Beezy got caught in the mix. But check this, Keywan ain't talking. That means all signs point to Devin being the one cooperating. And honestly, it makes sense. Word on the street is Mo 3 was messing with Devin's girl at the time, but here's where it gets messy. Devin's own baby mama is the one who snitched on him. According to the arrest warrant, she told the cops that Devin was heated over Mo 3 getting involved with her and that he was moving foul behind the scenes. And here's where it gets even crazier. Devin was blowing up another witness's phone multiple times right before Mo 3's death, trying to get the drop. He kept asking, "Yo, is he still there? Is he still there?" until he was sure. So now, with all the motive, communication, and a witness ready to spill, it's looking like Devin's the state's star witness, and he's probably about to put all the pieces together in court. Here's where it all comes together. Once Devin Brown confirmed that Mo 3 was at the spot, he allegedly hit up Keywan and others. And yeah, I'm talking Yella Beezy too. After that, Keywan pulled up to the location, and we all know what happened next. Mo 3 was murdered. Now here's where it gets a little trickier. Devin Brown still had a stake in the money. Since he was the one that provided the drop that led to Mo 3's death, he was entitled to a cut. And with Keywan White refusing to cooperate, it's clear that Devin is the one working with the state. But wait, there's more. Prosecutors are now saying that Yella Beezy went to his bank and withdrew $40,000 and split it between Keywan and Devin after the hit went down. So now, Yella Beezy's not fighting just murder for hire allegations. He's fighting a paper trail that links him to the crime. Bottom line, it's looking like Devin's the state's star witness, and with that kind of info, he's looking to blow the whole case wide open.
The state's witness would also testify that Keywan White, or to who shot and killed Melvin Noble. This witness would also testify to Keywan White being the individual who shot and killed Mr. Noble on November 11th of 2020. Again, this conversation took place in the days following Mr. Noble's murder. The state has also had an opportunity to review bank records of the defendant, Marquise Conway. These records would show that the defendant drew $40,000 in the days following the murder of Melvin Noble. And for the record, that was a cash withdrawal. These records would correspond to the exact amount which the state's witness would testify to.
This case looking shaky as hell. Here's the situation. Devin Brown is supposed to be testifying, claiming that he spoke to Yella Beezy and recorded the conversation right after the murder. But let's be real, that's not solid evidence. Prosecutors say that the recording has Yella Beezy allegedly hinting at the murder, but they don't even know the exact date it happened. Now check this out. Devin's also saying that Yella Beezy paid $40,000 for the hit, and they're trying to back it up with phone records showing Yella Beezy withdrew that from his accounts. But here's the issue. Everything hinges on Devin's word, and Devin, he's looking crazy sus himself. And here's the kicker. Nobody's even heard this so-called recording. It ain't no confession, just allegedly Beezy talking around the situation. And if the prosecution can't pinpoint the exact date it happened, how can the prosecution use this as solid evidence? Bottom line, they're trying to build a case on weak foundation. And if the defense picks this apart, Beezy might slide out of this one.
The prosecutor in their proffer, sure, it's clear from the record that as he recited, the state's witness, his proffer is, that's just one witness, multiple witnesses. And that I don't recall if a specific in the proffer was when the date that this witness purported to hear this conversation.
I do not have the specific date written down, but I know it was in the days following the offense. We do have evidence of when this could have taken place based off of cell phone data of when the defendant was in another state and then when he came back to Texas. So we believe we have a time frame. As far as the exact date, I do not have it this time.
Anything else, Mr. Hill?
No, Your Honor. Permission to publish, Your Honor.
Yes. Do y'all want the lights off?
All right, let's get straight into it. Everybody wants justice for Mo 3. That's a given. And truth be told, I really do feel like Yella Beezy was caught up in this mess one way or the other. But if we're talking strictly about the case, man, this whole thing's looking shaky. It's like the DA's just grasping at straws trying to get Yella Beezy because he's the biggest name in the case. But here's the real problem. The evidence they bring in, it's flimsy. If this is all the evidence they got, Beezy might beat this case with ease. And when the judge starts looking at the prosecution like, yo, this all you got? That's how you know things ain't adding up. So check this out. The prosecution was still trying to keep Beezy's bond at $2 million, but the judge wasn't rocking with that. She peeped how weak the case was and cut Beezy's bail down by over $1 million. Translation, if the judge thinks this case is light, Beezy might beat this case without breaking a sweat.
Of all the testimony and the facts that have been presented in this court, we'd ask that you leave the bond where it is at, currently at $2 million.
All right. Let me have the exhibits, and then if you all will give me about 10 minutes, I'll be able to respond.
Got it, Your Honor.
Yes. But the defense did not have any exhibits, right?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. And this is just a video, right? That I've already seen. Okay. Anything else that I need to take with me?
And you had 1 and 2 still?
Yeah, I said that.
Thank you.
Okay, the court is the court reporter ready?
Yes, Josh.
All right, court's ready to make my ruling. The court is going to reduce the bond to $750,000. The court took into consideration, certainly, the biggest consideration was the offense, the severity of this particular offense. It's pretty egregious to watch that video. But the court also took into consideration the evidence or lack of evidence that the state presented. That was a factor also.
Yo, I called this from the jump. I said Beezy was broke and washed up, one-hit wonder status. Man was acting like he had it all figured out when they hit him with that $2 million bail. But once Beezy's lawyer seen how weak the evidence was and knew he can get that bail knocked down, Beezy started feeling himself. Dude got cocky real quick, started smirking like he hit a lick. And if you that comfortable when your bail drops by $1 million, that's a different type of level of confidence. He might even be more dangerous than we gave him credit for. But here's where the false bravado backfired. They played the Mo3 murder footage in court, and even the judge was shook. I'm talking, this is one of the worst things I've seen in my courtroom type of shook. But even the judge was sitting there like, bro, I want to keep him locked up with his $2 million, but you're giving me nothing to work with. So here's the real issue. The prosecution was up there talking about they have financial receipts that shows Beezy withdrew $40,000 from his bank account, and they have a shaky witness that says he paid for the hit. But where's the smoking gun? Where's the proof? No text messages, no surveillance, no phone records, no nothing. It's like the DA was in court with vibes and assumptions, no real evidence. And guess what? This whole mess might actually work out in Beezy's favor. If he beats this case, first day out, bro, you know he's gonna drop a track talking about how he beat a murder charge and he's living these rhymes that these rappers are talking about. And the industry, they gonna eat it up. But hold up, Beezy ain't off the hook yet. The judge hit him with a serious warning before letting him breathe. Don't even think about reaching out to anyone who might snitch on you. And if somebody moves funny on your behalf, you're coming back. So Beezy might be feeling like he's but one wrong move and he's back in that jumpsuit.
Another concern I had was the financial statement that the defendant was to put on file. He didn't seem to take that very seriously at all. And that causes me concern about whether or not he's taking seriously the allegations against him. So I am going to set the bond at $750,000 with the bond conditions that were already set. But included on that, I want it to be very clear, Mr. Conway, that you are to have no contact, direct or indirect, no threatening or harassment of any victim, witness, co-defendant. If it's you or anybody on your behalf, there's going to be a problem. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you all can stand. I'm talking to you.
Let's talk about it. Even though Beezy's bond got dropped to $750,000, I don't think he's getting out anytime soon. I had people hitting me up in my comments talking about he just posted bond for $2 million. I was like, stop the cap. 10% of $750,000 is only $75,000. And if he's still sitting there, that means he dang got it. Imagine having $5 million just 5 years ago and being in a situation and you can't even come up with $75,000 for your own personal safety. You don't even have the property to put up? That's probably the wildest parts about this case to me. And peep this, Beezy's grandma had to step in and testify. She told the court the most that they can scrape up is $25,000, which is only 10% of $250,000. So if the bond stays at $750,000, he's not walking out. Bottom line, Beezy's staying locked up because his pockets didn't match his bravado. All that flex on the gram don't mean nothing when it's time to come up with real money.
How long has he been in jail?
8 days since last Thursday.
The bond set at $2 million. Has he been able to post that bond and get out of jail?
He's still sitting here. No, he hasn't.
We're asking the court for a $250,000 bond based on, do you believe that Mr. Conway could post a $250,000 bond?
I'm pretty sure we can get it together.
And are you telling the court that he's not able to post a $2 million bond?
No, he's not.
That's the witness.
Cross-examination?
Yes, Your Honor.
Here's the bottom line. Yella Beezy's been playing the part of a boss, but when it came time to put that money up, the truth came out. He ain't got it. His lawyer finessed a bond reduction to $750,000, but even then, Beezy couldn't even come up with the $75K to get out. Grandma had to step in and tell the courts they barely had $25K to scrape by. When I first heard that, I thought it was a play. That's the first thing I would do. Ask for a bail reduction and then have my grandmother come in and testify that we don't even have half of that. It's the old classic bait and switch. But when it turns out that he really doesn't have the money, that's what blew me. So him walking free, even for a little bit, is looking unlikely. And let's not forget, the case is shaky. This is a state case, not a Fed case. When the feds come, they usually have everything neatly tied up in a bow. From what we noticed with the state's RICO cases and murder for hire cases, they've been kind of weak. So it turns out Kiwan is not snitching. But it's looking like if Devin is, Yella Beezy could still slide out of this if he keeps his mouth closed. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. And if you made it this far, click the left side of your screen right here to see why Tupac's cousin had to tell Fat Joe stop the cap. But before that, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, share to be aware, and put me in that algorithm because I need to be there, man. Because I know there's 10 other streamers out there doing it like me, but...
Fuck that little 10. I'm maxed out.